Well, hi there, it's Jennifer, and welcome to today's video. This is the first of 3 videos that I recorded about a month ago after our daughter Lydia got married on September 16th of 2025. My husband and I took a road trip to Fairbanks, which is about 400 miles north. It's about roughly a 6 to 7 hour drive, depending on which highway you take. We elected to take the scenic route, and in hindsight, we're so glad that we did this trip the way that we did. You can get to Fairbanks 2 ways. One way, you can take the Parks Highway, or you can take the Glen Allen and Richardson highways. The Glen Allen Richardson Highway route is a scenic, beautiful, beautiful route. Gorgeous mountains, gorgeous views, significantly more scenic than the Parks Highway. And originally we had thought that we were going to take the Parks Highway north and then come down the more scenic route, but because the colors of the trees were looking so beautiful, we thought that we should take advantage and take the scenic route first. And we're really glad that we did, because what we did not realize was we were going to be witnessing the peak foliage for the northern area that you'll see us traveling on. And the weather was a little overcast, and I wish the cell phone could properly capture the depth and richness of the colors that I was able to see with my eyes. The cell phone just can't quite capture the vividness and the depth that we were witnessing. And what was really funny, so because we decided to take this scenic route up north, it's a longer drive, it's about 7 hours, and that's not stopping. But because it was so beautiful, we kept pulling over. Finally, at one point, we said to ourselves, we're like, this is going to end up into a 9 or 10 hour drive. We can only stop if we see a 10. If an area looks like a 10, then we'll stop. And this area was a 10. And when we had made that decision, we hadn't been on the road very long at all. We came upon this picturesque, stunning view, and we're like, oh, this is a 10. And isn't it just beautiful? Even though it's an overcast day, it was so gorgeous. Doesn't it just look like a postcard? It just was so beautiful. We spent quite a bit of time here. Since this area was a 10, as we deemed it, we were here for a while, and there are quite a few people too that were pulling over. You just couldn't help but pull over. It was so beautiful. I'm making my way over to a little stream here to see if there's any salmon, but I could not see any. Sometimes these streams, these tiny little Alaskan streams, will be packed full of the salmon as they return to the area in which they were spawned. In just a little bit, in the upper right-hand part of the screen, you'll get to see a glimpse of the Trans-Alaskan Pipeline. It is an engineering feat. The pipeline is 800 miles long, and it traverses the most rugged of Alaskan landscape. It's pretty impressive. The pipeline is suspended above air. It goes down underground. It goes under riverbeds and roads. It goes above mountains. It is an impressive feat. In the third video, John and I decided to focus on finding places where we could pull over and get up close to the pipeline. So that's in the third video, but it is a fascinating structure. College Glacier is going to be in the center of the screen here soon, but what a beautiful area. The fireweed has gone to seed and the trees are in their autumn glory. It was just so pretty. So we had to pull over and enjoy the spot for a little bit. For the most part, we tossed in the towel about trying to make this drive short because this area was a 10 and it absolutely demanded our attention. Although at this point in the day, it is starting to get darker. Evening is coming, and my husband really wanted us to get to the Delta Range Mountains where we would have enough daylight to see Rainbow Mountain, which you can Google. That's very, very beautiful. It is part of the Delta Range, which is part of the Alaskan Range Mountains. We will see it here in a little bit. And then on the third video, when we return home, we are also going to pull over and spend some time near that mountain. It's just absolutely picturesque and gorgeous. Here is Rainbow Mountain. And once again, I wish the cell phone could capture the depth and detail of the colors, but it just can't quite show what the eye sees, but it's still very beautiful. It's gorgeous. One final look before the sun completely sets and it becomes too dark for me to record. I do try to get a view from the inside of the truck where you can see how rough the roads look. Now there's bugs on this windshield, and you cannot avoid that when you're driving out in the middle of Alaska. It's impossible. But the frost heaves make for an interesting ride. And we're not far away from Fairbanks at this point. But what was funny was the hotel that we were staying at, when you walk into the front door, there is pigeon feathers and pigeon excrement everywhere. And I'm like, why are they not cleaning this up? Well, when we got out and saw everything in the daylight, and I'll show you a little clip, the pigeons are having the time of their lives nesting in the areas of the nooks and crannies of the entrance here of this hotel. They have those spikes to prevent nesting. It has not worked. They also have this audio recording of, I guess, what would be like a predatory bird. It has clearly not deterred the pigeons. A trip up north is never complete without dining at Pagoda. This restaurant is in a little city called North Pole. It's where John and I lived when we were in the military. We were stationed at Eielson Air Force Base, and this restaurant opened up while we were still here, and we became regulars. We would dine here when we could, but we would also do a lot of pickup orders. So whenever we would place our order, they got to know us so well. They'd be like, "Oh, Olson," and they would know our order. There are still so many local regulars. When John and I were sitting here, so we got to eat here 2 days in a row, which was so fabulous. I wish we would have eaten more than that. But we to quote a line from The Office, we dined and we dined so much, but it was wonderful. But while we were sitting here, there would be people who would come in and get their takeaway orders. And there would also be people who would come in, and you could tell that they were regulars with the way that the staff would engage with them. And then one family came in, and they're like, "Oh, you know where we like to sit?" And then they sat and they ate. And then when they were done, they're like, "Oh, you know all of our favorite foods." The interaction between the staff and the clientele has always been fabulous, and the food is consistently top-notch. This restaurant was featured with Guy Fieri on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and they've got his picture up front, and they've got merch too. My husband comes home, because whenever my husband travels north to Fairbanks with his line of work, he brings a lot of people who travel to the state. he will bring a lot of people to that restaurant if they're ever up north in Fairbanks. So my husband has a really great relationship with the manager of the store. And my husband, he's got t-shirts, he's got different drinking vessels, like he advertises the merch. And when he's been out on his travels, when he's had his pagoda shirt on, he's had several people throughout the United States stop him and say, "Oh, hey, I've been there," or "I know that restaurant." So it's pretty cool. There's just something about that tea that is so delicious. And only recently have I become a tea person. I actually stopped drinking my morning coffee. Now, I still love coffee. I'm still enjoying decaf, and I'll probably give myself a coffee treat every once in a while. But I decided to break that hardcore coffee caffeine addiction in the morning. And I've never been a big tea lover, but I'm learning to enjoy teas, and the tea that they have here is so scrumptious. And thankfully, we got here right when they opened. This restaurant is busy all of the time, especially in the evenings. It is packed, and lunches will become packed. But it was really great that we got here right when the doors opened before the crowds came in, that I was able to walk around and just do a lot of recording and show you how pretty the restaurant is. And that's a spicy mustard there. Ooh, it had some horseradish in there, but so good. And we ordered the poo-poo platter for two, or we might have done for four, actually, I think, come to think about it. We decided to just dine and dine so much. And then I also got a side of marinated beef sticks, as you can see right there off to the right. And there's all kinds of goodies on this appetizer, but those marinated beef sticks are absolutely delicious. Consistent, delicious, perfection every time. And I I ate so many of those. They were wonderful. And their sweet and sour sauce is really good. You know how when you go to some restaurants, sometimes the sweet and sour sauce is not always the best. And there's breaded shrimp, there's fried wontons, those flavored pork rounds. I don't know what you call those exactly. Then there's this marinated chicken that comes in a foil package. And yeah, that appetizer, the poo-poo platter, is delicious. And we always have a tea with our fortune cookies. And here's just some of the Guy Fieri photos. And I don't blame the chef for having these all up front. Yeah, so they've got a whole wall. They've got a lot of frames with photos, which is how amazing for a chef to have that. And then he's also done Guy's grocery games too. So he's been on a couple shows with Guy Fieri. And then after we ate, we decided that we needed to move around. And of course, I have come to love train spotting. I just absolutely love it. So we decided to come take a quick look at the train station here. That building right there that we were just walking into, they were closing in like 10 minutes. So we had enough time to walk in and see if we could get permission to walk around back here. And we just couldn't cross where the roping is there, the yellow rope. And we did eventually see some trains, but there wasn't a whole lot going on here. But this train station was absolutely beautiful. It was a gorgeous day out, and we just walked along this area here, and I did some recording of the train yard. It looks a lot different than ours does in Anchorage. Once we were done here at the train station, we decided to go to a visitor area where you can get a good look at the Trans-Alaskan Pipeline. There are several areas where there are little visitor centers that are set up along the length of the pipeline. And here in Fairbanks, this is one of those areas, and you can walk right up under it. While we were there were a couple of tours that were being given. But yes, this is an engineering feat, and it's fascinating. And these are what they call pigs. These are deployed into the pipeline. Of course, now they have smart ones. These were some of the older style, but now with technology, they have different types of pigs, but these go in and they clean the pipeline. We found a different view of the train yard and got to watch these trains being moved around by an engine. It kind of went back and forth several times. I'm not sure what they were doing exactly here, if they were changing tracks, but I did like the artwork here on the one coming up to the right. Thought it was interesting. For the rest of the day, we just drove around to a couple of different areas where we used to live and just see the changes. There's not a whole lot of changes that have happened in the city of North Pole and Fairbanks, but it was fun to drive around and see the old stomping grounds. We never did make our way onto the Air Force Base this trip. We have done that usually. We do get onto the Air Force Base and look around. Now that has changed quite a bit, but we drove by our old home and just took in the view and had a very leisure afternoon. And we ended up grabbing dinner from just grabbing some like microwavable food and snacks from a grocery store. We went back to our hotel early and just had a lovely evening, especially after that very long drive the day before. But yeah, so we sat here for a while. My husband indulged me as I did my train spotting. I love industry and nature equally. I love the majestic mountains and I love the industry, the industrial side of a city. I find it fascinating. It's gritty, it's dirty, it's hard, it's work, it's effort. I love it. There's something about it that I really enjoy. I want to say thank you so much for spending your time with me today. In the next video, we'll be exploring some really amazing street art like this mural here in Fairbanks. And until then, bye-bye.